Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. This video, we're going to talk about relationships. Ooh, that's kind of sticky, isn't it? Kind of one of those words that I really feel uncomfortable actually talking about this.
It took so much motivation to make. Please, we have a really good. I mean, I think it's a big deal. We've been married for 22 or 23 years. I can't keep track. And we've been together since I was 17, and we have 5 kids, and we've traveled the world.
But here, really what it comes down to, we can explain all that backstory, but really what it comes down to and why you're here is that I've never pretended to be an example of anything, and people put us in these kind of mentorship kind of positions, and I thought, well, we could help. And my wife always is, you're always saying that.
We can help. It's true. I'm always like, because he really is like, I mean, we fight. We do. We have moments of arguments, and so he feels like, well, we can't share this, but every time we're working through it, and in the end, we're like, I love being married to you. I just am trying to do things. We're doing things differently. We're living differently, and so it puts different stresses on our relationship. But the big one is we've seen so many relationships dissolve.
But wait. Why we're here is because we have this awesome course. Tell them about that real quick.
Okay, so we started Project Life course. It's a dynamic course because it works on a lot of different things in life. It's not just a fitness course. It's not just a mindset course. It's taking all of these things, these ideas, and bringing them together. So we do mindfulness, self-awareness, goal setting, fitness, nutrition, relationships. So It has all these different things. And so today we're just going to talk about 3 things that in our relationship that Project Life can help you with.
Right.
So in the course,
in many ways, the course is individualistic. It's about your growth and all the aspects of it. But we realize that in the end, by talking, when we're working on these things as an individual, it helps our relationship develop a lot. So the first one is self-care. Now, this sounds like a weird thing. We've been in the fitness industry for a very long time. But very simply, if you take care of yourself, you have more to bring to a relationship.
Absolutely.
Okay,
if you're tired all the time, I mean, if you're right there, that just ends it. If you're tired all the time, it's going to be hard to make your relationship successful.
So look, self-care is also about taking care of it. You have to hit it from all different angles. Even your career. If you don't have career fulfillment, you're going to be very blah. And I see it in a lot of people. And it gets to the point now when clients come and see me, some of the first questions I'm asking them are like, hey, are you happy? Yeah. Because if you're not happy and your goal is to drop 40 pounds, it's going to be tough.
Almost
impossible.
You have
everything stacked against you already. Your whole being, your whole physical being, as well as your mental being, is working against you.
And self-care even can come down to like confidence. When we were traveling, Victor wasn't working. He wasn't getting his lifts in that he liked to. So he didn't have that career fulfillment, and he didn't have his hobbies that he loved. And so truly the self-care wasn't there, even if he was getting his rest and getting to sit on beaches and be in nature. It just wasn't enough. You've got to have self-care from, like you said, from all these different angles.
And that brings us to number 2.
Yeah.
Personality type. If one day we're just going to video our dinners and just realize that we're a bunch of nerds when it comes to personality type. We're not trying to put you in a box, okay? Every time we talk to people that are initially have no idea what Myers-Briggs or Enneagrams, they feel like, why do I got to be put in a box? You're not putting in a box. But having a firm understanding of a generalized description of who you are is going to give you insight. And the people around, actually more importantly, the people around you give them insight into the type of person you are.
It's played a huge role for us because if I just went by Enneagram, I'm an 8, Victor's a 2. 8s in general, every personality type's going to have a strength and a weakness, right? Mm. So don't pretend like you only have strengths or that you only have weaknesses. You have both.
Wait. And oftentimes we're walking through life, just as a side note when it comes to relationships, you are coming into a relationship never trying to show your weakness.
Yeah.
You're never.
And then when the relationship hits roadblocks, it's usually blame game and like, you never, you always. And that's not going to work. Not going to work.
So go ahead.
So for like mine, I need challenge. Huge thing for me is a challenge. I love adaptability. But because I tend to force my way through life, sometimes I can come across as not very compassionate. So in our relationship, this has been a hindrance and a success. I'm usually the one who's the driving force, like, hey, let's go here, let's travel
Right.
here. But I didn't know about Enneagrams when we were traveling through Europe the first time, and Victor, that was really hard for him. As a 2, he needs a little bit more security, stability. His big
Routine.
thing, routine, provide for others. So it was great because we'd go to travel and he'd stay back with Tati. She was little, and I'd get to go hike mountains with the older kids, which was great in a lot of ways. He loved being the caretaker. He loved nurturing Tati. They did so many amazing arts and crafts together. But then I would catch myself. Now I'd catch myself. Then I didn't. And I'm just like, you never want to go hike and have fun with me. And it would turn into something bigger. And now I'm in a spot that I can be like, oh, okay, we need to adjust our travel so that you can still feel that role, but so that I'm not dropping you in a new city every 2 days. And where I think it's fun, like, hey, let's figure out this city. He's like, whoa, 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 I just got
Well,
here.
we would generally blow through a city before I'm like, wait a second, I haven't even had a chance to appreciate it. And that's just understanding it. So as she described, like, I'm generally kind of a nurturer, kind of sets me up with what I've done in my career to help people, nurture them along. But I found myself traveling abroad, not needing or being able to do that. And that created a conflict with me, aside from the fact that my personality type likes routine, like that's anti everything. Couple that with a few issues I have with a feeling of scarcity, and all of a sudden, man, my relationship and who I was completely gone.
Yeah,
right?
it was really stressful. And now that looking back, if we had just had a better grasp of
the
our
personality,
wiring,
yeah.
it would have helped us so much. And it's really cool to see how we're evolving in our relationship and in our travels and goals. A big thing is with that is individual. So as you know, your personality type, really like understanding what you need to thrive. They all kind of end up being interwoven, but self-care, knowing your personality type is also going to help you take care of yourself, and your self-care might look totally different than your spouse's or significant others.
Sure.
But it's also for goal setting, because in the end, in your relationship, you've got to take care of you, and you've got to feel like you're thriving in yourself, your body, your routine.
Because then you can bring it. Then you can bring it to the other person. Like, man, I feel so awesome. Do you feel awesome? No. Well, let's make you feel awesome so we can be awesome together. And then this brings us to number 3.
Yeah, it's goal setting. So you got to figure out individually where you see yourself, where you see yourself in your career fulfillment, where you see your self-fulfillment, like your sports. We're big proponents of play. Then you can see yourself in how that fits in with your relationship, and know, okay, well, in my relationship, this is what I need from my relationship. And instead of being, like I said, on that side of like, you never, if you're sitting there like, yeah, you never do the dishes, it's not about the dishes. There's some other underlying emotion going on that either, you need to find out for yourself what emotion that is, or your spouse or significant other can help you. Like, okay, you're right, I don't do the dishes, I'll do the dishes, but is there something else that I'm not doing that's really coming out when we do the dishes?
Yeah, and one of the issues relationships have is that they develop layers of resentment. It comes out, and so it could be some time before you really get to the root issue on it. And so Project Life does a really good job of breaking it down. It doesn't just say lesson 5, goal setting, set some goals.
Yeah.
No, that's really what would set people. Robin and the girls have done an amazing job of creating steps so that you can get to that point.
Right. And we try to really interweave it. So if you get to a point where you're stuck in one part with, say, the relationship, it might be time to step back and go, okay, shoot, what am I not doing for self-care? Why am I tired? Victor will say he has all the intention of coming home with energy, but he gives a lot at work. And so he might have to sit in his car for 5 minutes and just work on meditating, breathing, to be like, look, this is the person I want to bring to the relationship.
Yeah.
This is what's the most important thing to me, but I need to do this in order to do that.
Right. And so if something like this resonates with you, or if you got your stuff together, great. But I know someone that could use this. And I come across clients all the time where I'm having these conversations, and Robin has encouraged me, like, look, be that guy. And instead, for many, many years, I was just like, oh, it's all about the workout and nurture. And eventually I'm like, hey, what do you want?
Yeah.
Right. And so you share this with someone that it could help, and go check out Project Life, because we know we can make a difference.
Yeah. Relationships really do matter. It's like, for most people, it's the top goal. I mean, if you're not in a relationship that makes you happy, or that you don't see yourself eventually being happy in, giving you the confidence, change it, go do something else. But when you're in a relationship that you know you want to see succeed, but you just sometimes don't know how, this can totally help you.